Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Can It Run on This Toaster, the only show where we throw AAA games at a low-end PC and pray for mercy. It's been a while since I tested a sports game, and a few of you brave souls suggested Steep. So naturally, I dusted off my snow boots, strapped on my imaginary GoPro, and dove headfirst off a cliff, virtually of course. Ubisoft Steep is all about extreme winter sports, like skiing, snowboarding, wingsuit flying, and base jumping. Basically everything that screams cool, but also hospital bills. But today's mission wasn't about adrenaline. It was to see if this beast of a game could run on a humble i3 machine with zero graphics card. Yup, just integrated graphics, some faith, and a warm cup of chai on the side. Let's hit the slopes! So I fired up Steep in offline mode because Ubisoft's online servers and my blood pressure don't get along, and as always I began with the sacred ritual, cranking everything to low. Resolution 720p. Shadows off. Anti-aliasing? I don't know her. Despite these sacrifices to the performance gods, the game looked surprisingly beautiful. Like seriously, it's criminal how good this game looks even when all settings are turned down. It's like putting Vaseline on your lens and still ending up with a nature documentary. While recording, I consistently hit 35 to 40 plus FPS, and that's pretty sweet for this little i3 potato. There were a few hiccups, some minor stuttering here and there, but no crashes, no thermal meltdowns, and most importantly, no blue screens. It was smooth, stable, and totally playable. I even tried alt-tabbing to test its patience, and it didn't rage quit. Impressive. So performance-wise, Steep is actually a pleasant surprise for low-end users. Not buttery smooth, but definitely not a slideshow either. Now let's dive into the gameplay, or as I like to call it, how many bones can I break without real-world consequences? Because Steep isn't just a snowboarding simulator, it's a full-blown winter sports circus with enough content to keep you glued to the screen for hours, or at least until your fingers freeze from all the virtual snow. You've got skiing, snowboarding, wingsuit flying, base jumping, and paragliding, which honestly feels like a flight simulator made by someone who hates joy. But overall, it's a glorious blend of high-speed adrenaline and spectacular wipeouts. The world design is one of Steep's strongest features. The environments are stunning, vast, snowy mountain ranges that stretch endlessly, peppered with pine trees, sharp cliffs, and hidden routes that make you feel like you're discovering something new every time you play. Even on low settings, the views are breathtaking. It's like Ubisoft channeled all its leftover Assassin's Creed Alps Edition budget into building these mountains. The Dold Edition blesses you with 3 massive maps, each one offering unique challenges and events, from racing down narrow ravines to launching off sheer cliffs with a wingsuit that basically turns you into a flying squirrel on Red Bull. The variety of activities is genuinely impressive. One moment you're gracefully carving through fresh powder on skis, and the next you're plummeting through the air at 200 kilometers an hour yelling, "I regret nothing!" Every sport handles a bit differently, with snowboarding and skiing being the most satisfying. Smooth controls, great speed sensation, and enough room for tricks without feeling overwhelming. Wingsuiting is exhilarating and terrifying. One wrong move and you're hugging a rock wall like it's your long-lost uncle. Base jumping is short but sweet, more of a thrill-seeking minigame than a main event. And then there's paragliding, which is like being given a beautiful kite and no instructions, just wind and a prayer. The game throws you into the sky with nothing but vague button prompts and the assumption that you'll figure out aerodynamics on your own. Spoiler, you won't. I crashed into more trees in 10 minutes than a squirrel during a windstorm. Now let's talk about controls. They're workable. But trying to map 5 different sports onto one universal control scheme is like trying to teach your cat how to ride a bike. It kinda works, but not always gracefully. Tricks can feel a bit hit or miss, and I often found myself spinning in the wrong direction or landing upside down wondering what button I pressed. There's also no real tutorial system beyond the basics, especially for trickier modes like paragliding or even advanced trick combos in snowboarding. A proper training area or breakdown would have helped a lot. Instead, we get vague icons and a lot of trial and error. Mostly error. Now the UI. Oh boy. Ubisoft, if you're listening, whoever designed the UI for Steep was either going through a breakup or just experimenting with chaos. Navigating menus is like playing a meta puzzle game. Sometimes I'd open a menu and just stare, unsure if I was selecting a challenge, equipping a new jacket, or accidentally launching a marketing survey. Events aren't clearly marked, the replay system, while decent, is buried under layers of menus, and I swear at one point I got lost just trying to switch disciplines. The checkpoint system is also hit or miss. You'll fly through a gate only to find the next one 500 meters above you or tucked behind a tree, and the game just shrugs like, well, good luck. And then there's the elephant in the snowy room, the always online requirement. Even if you're playing solo, Steep wants to connect to the servers like it's a clingy Dex who can't let go. Offline mode does work, but it's limited. Features like leaderboards, replays, and even some event progressions either don't function or bug out. And just when you're getting into the groove, Ubisoft throws that subtle guilt trip at you. A big pop-up that says, "Now's the time to give in," pushing you towards Ryder's Replica. It's less of a recommendation and more of a breakup ultimatum. To make things worse, all the old microtransaction pages are broken. You click on them and instead of taking you to cool new gear, it just says, "Content no longer available." The Olympics DLC, gone. It's like walking into a party 5 years late and everyone's already gone home. There's still music playing, but it's just you dancing in an empty room. That's what makes Steep feel bittersweet. At its core, it's a really good game. Unique, exciting, and beautiful. But Ubisoft has clearly moved on. The game is no longer supported, events are gone, updates are frozen, and you get the constant sense that it's just waiting to be unplugged. Which is a shame, because for snow sport lovers, especially skiing fans, Steep was one of the few solid options out there. Other alternatives like SNO are casual indie titles, and Grand Mountain Adventure is more of a mobile experience. Steep still stands tall, or rather shreds tall, but it's on borrowed time. So what's the verdict? Steep is far from perfect, but you know what? It's still a blast, especially if you're running on a budget system like mine. For under 800 rupees or $10, the X Games Gold Edition gives you a beautiful open world, a wide variety of sports, and enough content to keep you busy for weeks, even if you spend most of that time falling off mountains. Sure, the UI is confusing, paragliding is like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded, and Ubisoft seems to have ghosted the game completely, but the core gameplay still holds up. If you're a snowboarding purist, then yeah, maybe go with shredders for the better trick system and physics. But if you're just looking to have fun, zoom down slopes, fly through canyons, and occasionally crash into a tree with style, Steep still delivers. And best of all, it runs surprisingly well on low-end hardware. No dedicated graphics card? No problem. Just remember to crank those settings to potato mode, and you're good to go. So, would I recommend Steep in 2025? Absolutely. Just grab it on sale, ignore Ubisoft's clingy breakup messages, and enjoy the ride while the servers still live. Alright folks, that's it for today's icy adventure. If you enjoyed watching a grown man fall repeatedly down digital mountains, don't forget to drop a like, hit that sub button, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next low-end PC madness. Let me know in the comments what game I should throw to this poor laptop next. Maybe something not winter-related, so I can finally feel warm again. Until then, keep gaming, keep experimenting, and remember, just because you don't have a graphics card doesn't mean you can't fly, or at least crash stylishly. See you in the next one.